Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagninirvatam Shriya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadurivanam Anandam Durivardhanam Pratipadam Puranam Vitasvaram Sarvatma Snapanam Padam Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Hare Krishna. Madhava Kumar, Prabhu, we are privileged to have you. One of the leaders of the Manchester Yatra. And I've had the honor of seeing firsthand how you look after and take care of the community, and also how you're very much an inspiration in book distribution. So, Madhava Kumar, Prabhu, we just thought we'd maybe spend a few minutes, have a podcast with yourself today.
Sure.
And also see what... showcase the wonderful community that's going on in the UK. So how is your marathon going? What sort of what's your plans? How's your community?
Yes, thanks for having us on, Prabhu. It's a privilege to be amongst all you great shining examples of Vaishnava devotees. And being a leader essentially means knowing how to best serve. So it's essentially servant leadership we try and implement here in Manchester. And as leaders, you got to be willing and able to serve in every way. So book distribution is one such service. And in Manchester, we try and promote that as a community activity rather than pushing any one or two individuals to go for the big league, as you would say. So I think the focus here in Manchester is to promote and encourage that book distribution is not an exclusive, independent activity. It's part of a devotee's life. It is non-different from offering prayers in front of a deity. It's non-different from chanting. It's non-different from doing any other form of service. You know, in the seventh canto, Prahlad Maharaj talks about the 9 limbs: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and book distribution encompasses all of that. I've been made to understand over a number of years, listening to other devotees and practicing ourselves. When we distribute books, we're hearing about Krishna. We're sharing Krishna's pastimes, glorifying him. In that sense, we do kirtan. And when we are constantly holding and giving out books, we are remembering Krishna all the time. Doing that service, we do part of the sevanam by using the facility of our feet in serving the service of book distribution, ensuring everybody has access to Krishna, not just us. And in that sense, it becomes an inclusive service rather than exclusive, where I'm only focused about my sadhana, my growth, my chanting, my development. It becomes inclusive, where we are allowing everyone to get access to Krishna. Sometimes people come and ask us, when do I know, Prabhu, that I've grown or I'm established in Krishna consciousness? And the answer is, when you're ready to give Krishna to others is when you know that you've got it yourself and you're growing. So we encourage everyone to get to that stage where we develop a desire to share Krishna with everyone, and book distribution is such an amazing opportunity to do that. Vandanam, we are praying when we meet people in the streets. We pray for everyone. Like yesterday, we were on the streets, and sometimes people are really looking for genuineness to connect with others, and everybody needs some help. Some space where they can share and open up. And it's amazing when you present your happiest self as a devotee, how people come and share so many things with you. I met a woman on Saturday, and initially she was reluctant to buy a book. And then when she saw the title Beyond Birth and Death, she's like, oh, I don't know how long I'm going to last because I'm going through a tough time. Maybe I could find something from reading this book. And we started talking, and then she opened up as to how she was going through a tough time, mother's not well, being kicked out of the house, relationship issues, etc. And then obviously I wasn't there to offer her solutions, but what we did was we gave her a year We heard her out fully. She was receptive. She took the book, and then we held hands together, and 3, 4 of us held hands together, and we made a little prayer for her. And she was so moved, and we were so happy with giving her that experience that she met the devotees, and she had a pleasant experience. And she was very, very thankful for the prayer we did for her, and I suppose that would have restored her faith in humanity, because clearly she wasn't getting good experiences from other humans around her.
Mm.
So that's the idea, really. And we pray, so the aspect of prayer in devotional service comes out when we go out on books. And dasyam is to humbly act as Prabhupada's representative. We may be senior devotees, and some designations we might be holding in offices with direct reports, etc. But when we go out on the street, it just gives us an opportunity to really humbly put ourselves in front of anybody, without any regard for the material positions we may have either in temple or other places. So it gives us an avenue of really being humble. And the third verse from Sri Shastrakam, Srinarpi Sunechena. Only when you really humble is when you're able to constantly be in remembrance of the holy name chanted as much as possible, not otherwise. So book distribution, getting us out on the streets, provide for that humility to come out more than any other place. Because in a temple, you could be very, very comfortable in your warm spaces and people coming and giving respects to you, but you know how deeply rooted you are when you go out on the street and and have those interactions with strangers. And Sakhyam is another aspect. We build amazing relationships. I met with so many people in the last few weeks. There was an elderly gentleman. They were actually Quakers. I'm not 100% sure, but it's some form of Christianity. They practice Christianity, and we had a long conversation, and I appreciated how they were together as a couple for 50, 60 years, and how they would still take the time out to be with each other and be an example of companionship. I presented the Krishna book to them, and I said, listen, I don't need to tell you much because you're already doing well together, being a couple for so many years. But here's a book that's got so many examples, 90 stories of the divine couple, and tips and wonderful instructions on how to live happily, peacefully together. And they said, well, yeah, that's a nice book. We will take it for our children. And then they wanted to take all the books. I think I had 6 or 7 books in my hand, and I just emptied everything that I had in my hands in their bag. And not, at that point, I wasn't sure what I'm going to get in return, but they were willing to take all the books. And the Krishna book kind of resonated with them the way I presented. And then I was like, because I'm not very good at asking for money, and I generally expect people's. And I was like, could you give us something to print and distribute? And he's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll give you some money. And he took out a 20-pound note. That's like, okay, that covers everything. That's good. So you're building friendships, and I gave them my contact, and I said, if you ever need any more books to be placed in any of your Quaker houses, we'll be more than happy. So there is some avenue for relationship always. And Atmanivedan, surrender, of course, is when you're just on the mercy of the Lord. Nothing else to protect you from the rain, the sun, the shine, and all the people around you. So essentially, book distribution by itself encompasses all aspects of devotional service. And therefore, we encourage everyone to come together and experience all of this. Prabhu, I'll take a pause.
I really liked, I especially like your stories, Prabhu. Like when you're meeting that lady and you all prayed for her and you said a prayer together. I mean, I think that's things like that are so special.
Yes.
Because I always, whenever I'm out, I'm always surprised just how lonely people are.
Yes.
And how they're walking through the street and they're so used to people stopping them and wanting something from them. So to meet someone out in your day to day that actually wants to help you and sincerely wants to give something.
Yeah. That's true, Prabhu. I think, yeah, that's very, very important. We are there to give Krishna to people. And if out of our own presentation, humility, and the goodness we are able to express, they are encouraged by the Paramatma within to give us something, we will accept.
Mm.
But of course, every devotee has a different style. But Manchester is all about encouraging everyone to come together and perform book distribution as one devotional service together. It's like, if you're cooking, not everybody is expected to be a perfect chef and know the right measure of the spices and the temperature and the timing. But you could come in and do some chopping. You could come in and do some cleaning. You could come in and do some shopping, buying ingredients, etc. So even on book distribution, if you have a team, not everybody is expected to be hitting every person with a book. Some people, when they come, like we had a team last couple of weeks, one Mataji was like, I don't know, Prabhu, what to do. So what I'm going to do is, I've got these two books, I've got pictures of Krishna, I'm going to just hold them like this, and at least people are looking at me and looking at Krishna's pictures. I say, yeah, that's amazing, please do that. And then there was another one, she was like, what I'm going to do, Prabhu, is I'm going to say there's a free cookie, and when the person comes, then maybe you can have a chat. And then one person was holding an incense, and then one person said, Prabhu, I'm just going to sit down and do some kirtan. Yes, do that. And then one or two of us who were a little bit more confident, we said, okay, we will try and use the support system you're giving us and rely on the moral support that you're giving us to do our little bit. So it's a teamwork, and everybody can play their part, and it's just a nice thing to do. It really brings about a community feeling. If 6, 4, 7, 9 people have gone together out, can you imagine the bond they will build amongst themselves to say that, yes, I went out, Madhava Kumar was nice to me, he didn't evaluate me on my ability to distribute books, he still recognized that I was just there standing holding pictures. So I think he's a nice person to continue to associate with. Like that. Essentially, relationship building, Gopal Prabhu, which is also one of your key goals to achieve this year, isn't it, as part of book distribution? So
Key goals, but I'll have to take a leaf out of your book, Madhava Kumara. People stop running away from me, and when you were saying about how you have to present your best self, I was thinking how it happened the other day. I remember a doctor who said something similar happened to him, where I remember trying to stop people, and then I saw this. It turned out to be my own reflection. Right, so I'm out distributing books. I think I'm looking happy, and then I see someone like, oh, that guy looks miserable, and then I realized, oh, that's me. I'm trying to be. I'm just like this, middle-aged fat guy. Just, do you want to be happy like me? And so I realized, okay, yeah, I've got to be feeling the bliss a little bit more.
Yeah, I think what doesn't work sometimes for me is if I try and give instructions to people as to things like, do you want to know how to be happy, or do you know the formula of life? People get challenged, and not everybody likes to be in that position. So we just say, hello, how are you? And here's a little something for you. Very, very simple. And I think it doesn't need to be complicated. Of course, if you're a professional doing this for a while, then you will develop your own strategies. But for someone who's, like in Manchester mostly, who's just beginning to appreciate book distribution as a service, it's just a case of getting together, having a little plan, going out and having a good time. Having a good time, just smile at everyone. It's Christmas, time of giving. Distribute free cookies or fruits or whatever. One person we met on Saturday, he came and he didn't want the books. He just went for the fruit basket we had on our table, and he said, "How much for the fruits?" And we were like, "Well, you can give what you like." So he took the whole fruit basket and the fruits with it, and we were like, Mataji, who made the fruit basket, she'd put a lot of effort in decorating it, so we didn't want to give away the fruit basket. But in the end, we looked at each other and said, "Well, let him take it." And then guess what? After a few minutes, he comes back and says, "I've distributed all your fruits. Here's your basket." And then he took a book, and then funny enough, he because he'd already paid for the fruits, when he took the book, I was like, could you give a little something for the book also? And he was like, I've already just given you £5. So I don't know, I just was encouraged to say, hold on. I was like to my team members, listen, don't take a picture of me holding a beer glass. And then he dig into his pockets and took a couple of pounds out. And yeah, and then in the end, I've got a video of him. He was so happy. He chanted the Hare Krishna mantra with us and sang it a bit. And it was a good, pleasant experience. He was happy. We were happy. And that's all we were out there to do. Just have a good time, really. No pressures. Just do it as a team, build mutual relationship, and then be encouraged to do it more and more and more. And then with time, we can improve scores. So, but scores wasn't on the top of our mind. It was just a case of we have a debt to Prabhupada. He's pleased with distributing books. Let's just go out and do a little something. I'll share another example with you, Prabhu. Many years ago, we were in Rath Yatra in Leicester, and obviously our children have grown in the community, so then they see elders doing all sorts of devotional activity, including distribution of books. So he saw me doing books, and he just took a hiatus from me. My son Drew, I think he was 6 or 7 years old then, and he was encouraged. So he approached a person who would stop, and he distributed the book, even got a little money for it. And the expression on his face was he ran like anything to me. Papa, I distributed a book. And guess what? I was thinking and I was reflecting on it. He didn't distribute the book because he wanted to please Prabhupada. He didn't really have a full concept of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Sanatana Dharma or whatever concepts we use. He did it only because he wanted to keep me happy. He wanted to please me, knowing that I will distribute the book, my dad will be happy, and I will be able to say it to my friends. It is exactly similar. When we have that connection with Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara, and we know what pleases them, we don't need encouragement to do something like distributing the book, because it should come naturally. I know Prabhupada likes it. Let me do a little something. And if I'm not good, I will lean on the support from other members in the community.
Yeah, that's great, Prabhu. We're on 17 minutes at the minute.
Oh, really? Already? My goodness.
It goes quick, doesn't it? It does go quick.
It goes quick, yeah. And I think, I don't know if you had any more questions. The other bit that I do a lot of times is to listen into inspirational stories. And you're doing such an amazing job of recording these podcasts. And I've heard Titiksha Prabhu, his earlier days, on how he would live out of a bus so many years, and Pragosh Prabhu's instruction, and Vamsi Vilas, he started the whole thing, I know, and then Ben, his outrageous stories as to what he can do with people, asking people to empty their pockets, etc. But yeah, it's just another way. If we listen to inspirational experiences and stories from others, then it also encourages. And we know from so many people telling us that it's not about how many books you do, it's about how many people you try to give Krishna to, because eventually it'll open up the road for them. For example, I get reminded of a devotee. She was called Rekha at that time. And the story goes, she was in an airport in India trying to board a flight to US because she had a tech job somewhere in the US. And a book distributor approached her and tried to give a Gita. And she reluctantly took it because she was from an Indian background, and generally they have Gita or some form of religious book. So she reluctantly took the Gita and she went to the US, and many years passed, came back to India, got married, went back to the US again, and eventually got pregnant, and she was expecting. And at that point, a good 5, 6, 7, 10 years later, after getting the Gita, she was sat in her house, advanced pregnancy, not being able to do much, thinking, what shall I do? That point, she got reminded, I got a Gita, let me take that out. She took the Bhagavad Gita out, read it, And by the time she finished, she became a devotee, started chanting. Then inspired her husband to do the same. Husband started chanting again. Then they had two kids, and they decided to homeschool them because they weren't happy with the modern education. And who those that devotee is? She's called Arudha Devi Dasi. She lives in Idaho, Boise. They converted their house into a temple. It's a ISKCON temple. And from homeschooling, by Prabhupada's inspiration, she got her sons to graduate from Oxford University in England, and they are lecturers of philosophy in America. And she's now writing, translating Srimad Bhagavatam for children, just from one book distributor, planting the seed of the Bhagavad Gita so many years ago. So every time we go out, we just do, and we don't know what the Lord has planned for every individual. We can just be a cog in the wheel and expect that somehow or the other, Krishna will bring them closer or pave the way one way or the other. So yeah, read stories, read inspirational stories, hear about how other people's experiences, and get inspired. I'm so liking all the updates in the variety of groups I'm in, and I'm feeling like I should go every day of the week, but it's a bit difficult. So we're doing every week this month in Manchester, and it's very, very satisfying.
Yeah, even just to hear the stories that you did the other day when you went out, Peru, is just little miracles. Miracles are happening all the time.
Yeah, it's just the experiences, really. It's so satisfying to be able to give another stranger some comfort, and let them have the opportunity to know that there is good in the world. There is hope. Not everything is dark and gloomy like the weather at the moment. So yeah,
Well,
it's just.
Madhava Kumara, Peru, you're doing an amazing job up there in Manchester. We bow down to your feet, you and all the devotees.
I think I'm a product of everyone's blessing, and all I know or say or speak is from listening to everybody else, and so many inspirational quotes and messages from everybody. Just a couple of things to maybe close is when the first Rath cart was set up in England, and they wanted to take it out, it collapsed. You must have read. And then the devotees approached Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, is it because we're not good enough devotees as to why the Rath didn't take off? And what did Prabhupada say? He said, no, it's because your technique is wrong. not that you're not great devotees. So when we go out and we fail distributing books, it always is useful to chat with people and see how others do it, and take a leaf of everyone's book and slowly build on it. As long as you're able to maintain that inspiration for considering that book distribution is devotional service, encompassing all 9 limbs. It's complete devotional service.
I see what you did there, Prabhu, as well. You brought it to a conclusion. Okay, thank you, Madhava Kumara, Prabhu, and thank you everyone for listening.
No problem.
Lots of love.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.